Welcome. All right, this is our global Satsang, Tuesday, September 2nd?
No, today is the 1st of September.
1st of September. All right, we made it through another month.
This is what
We're
happens,
still
a
here.
day of silence, and he's lost his mind. So it's great to see everybody.
All
Hey,
right.
Caroline and Rory.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, namaste to you all. Welcome.
Okay,
All right.
so what are we doing today?
I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do with this time slot, just so those of you who've been participating can understand.
Good.
We have a little video that went out, explained what
No, it
I'm...
hasn't gone out yet.
Oh, it hasn't gone out yet. So just to let you know that I'm feeling that it is a critical time to be bringing in the force of truth consciousness, the incarnation force into the world. So we're going to put more emphasis on the world peace meditation for this time slot, so that every week, starting next week,
The 8th.
will be a world peace meditation at this time zone, because it's clear to me that the transmission that comes in when we gather intentionally together doing a world peace meditation is serving the current transition that's going on here in the United States as we head towards the election where the people get to vote. And I think this is the many of the forces of darkness are now also becoming very vigorous, as are the forces of light in this moving toward this moment of peril here in this country. But this country is going to affect the whole rest of the world, and the decision that's made November 3rd is going to impact all of us. But I do believe that this is the battlefield, and that this is the work, and what we can do together as awakened beings that are able to align and open up to a force greater than beyond this creation, to intervene and inject, to bring truth, to bring consciousness, to wake up and make aware the vibrational field of the collective consciousness, so that mankind can see clearly the peril. And out of the peril will arise the purpose. And for us in the United States, we have one small opportunity to have a say in where this country goes. So this is a time that prepares all of us for an action that is the appropriate and strong response to the forces that are seeking to undermine the evolutionary opportunity of mankind. So be clear that's what's going on. So this Tuesday time slot will be for all of us and anybody else you may know to join in collectively, to align our intent, to become a channel for this thought force through our body into the world consciousness.
And there's a caveat. During the dates where Shree and Satdas will be conducting their Gita online program, Gita in Times of Peril, so appropriate. We will make a time change for the World Peace Meditation. It will affect 3 Tuesdays. That will be in your event mailer. It'll be posted on the website. It'll be on the app and everywhere else we post. So if you have any questions, though, you just send an email to natalie@newdharma.office@gmail.com.
All right, very good.
Okay, so let's be at cause.
All right, so I mean, this leads us into really the fundamental principle that's the ultimate outcome of spiritual awakening is this being able to come to a quality of consciousness that is so whole and complete and integrated, you can recognize that you are the experiencer and the knower of all that arises. It is really the state of the Supreme Being. And of course, this is what my teachings, what the Bhagavad Gita specifically says you are. Learning to discover that authority, that power, that capacity to be in creation, in the fullness and the freedom and the intelligence of that quality of consciousness we're labeling the Supreme Being is really the ultimate outcome of all spiritual awakenings. It's why we awaken. We cannot come to cause. We cannot come to that place of causality as you as the source of how life is showing up unless we awaken to that which is asleep, that we have not yet met, because we can't be responsible. We can't own our own shit, little less the world's shit, if we don't know what it is we don't know. So the spiritual process is not only the fact that we're engaged in the getting to connection to that force of consciousness that lives us, to be able to be tapping into that serenity and that peace and that strength or that divine love and delight that comes when we begin to step out of the shroud of our human embedment. You could effectively say we've been embedded in our human systems and the cultures and the atmosphere that of the world, that there's a purpose. And the purpose is to be able to align ourselves, to go beyond ourselves, to align ourselves to be more than we were, to become more aware of what's been hidden, to become more thereby responsible for those parts of us that before we couldn't be responsible for because we weren't aware of them. That those parts of us we do not yet know are running us. We're their puppets. We're their wind-up toy. We're the mechanism of those unmet parts of ourselves. And that is what causes suffering. That's what causes bondage. That's what causes separation from the fullness of what life actually is. So the whole spiritual path is purposeful. It has one purpose. So you can wake up to the truth that you are as an embodied human being and as a representative of a divine principle, a spiritual being, a spiritual possibility, simultaneously. That's the purpose. Because when you come to that integration, even in the process of aligning yourself with that purpose, you become a means by which the higher possibility for mankind can be furthered, can evolve, can grow and develop, can become more mature, can come out of the shroud of its immaturity and all its compensating adaptations and its victimhoods and justifications and rationalizations. It can become something more than human, not just human. So the true spiritual path is not about transcending into the unbounded, unlimited freedoms and planes of consciousness, but to live it, to bring it into your body, and to train your body to learn how to align with that higher possibility that you're able to bring back from your awakened experiences and your developing capacity to meet those dimensions of reality that are behind this physical creation we take for granted. So it's perhaps the most important conversation we have. Ultimately, it'll end up there. The proof of our progress is our own ability to own our own shit, to own ability to be present with what's arising, not as an idea or a belief, but as an event in your body where you're there paying attention, where you can be in touch with the wisdom of your body, with the compassion and the love and the knowingness of your heart, and the awareness and the clarity of your intelligence. So we're opening our whole system to become a vehicle and a channel for that supreme principle, that's what we call the supreme being, to become us, and for us to become that. But we don't lose anything in that process. Rather, we gain a stability. We gain a grounding and a clarity and a steadiness. The Hindus call it Sthiti Prajan, stable wisdom, stable intelligence, that in every moment of life, it can perceive and experience the truth of what's arising and have a sense of our role in the moment of that arising, to be simply the receiver of it, to be one who speaks to it, or one who interjects, intervenes. So this is what we're doing together. And of course, everything we've read and everything we've studied and everything we've made sacred, everything that we honor in all the traditions and all the myths and all the stories of humanity's unfolding is also here. It's also with all of us. We are an incredibly rich archive of every truth that has ever been revealed to mankind throughout all times. But we are also reaching the point as a species where our impact on the physical world is greater than has ever been possible for any species on the planet. And what we haven't done is waken up to that responsibility. We have not recognized that globally, together, we have to come to cause. We have to recognize that we have a role to play in the possible unfolding of mankind through thousands of generations in the future, or for no, or few generations in the future. That we are in a place where we need to grow up, wake up, get real, and start playing the part each of us have to play. And of course, it first starts in your lived life. It first starts with the labor of preparing yourself to be the vessel for this causal state of consciousness, where you actually begin to discover that you are creating and changing the world by your very presence, by the wisdom that comes through you, by the actions that you take to those who are most intimate with you, as well as those you do not yet know, who will start being drawn to your light. We are in eternal truth consciousness. The quality of what we are, that we know ourselves and our body itself, is a shroud that we wear. Yes, all that is valid and true. That we are this eternal principle that never dies, was never born, and it lives eternally, and it's a freedom. But it chooses to become shrouded. It chooses to become involved because it seeks to know itself. And it can't know itself by just being consciousness. So this embedment in a body, in this vessel, has actually been the result of nature doing all she could to create a vessel worthy of this consciousness. And we unwittingly live as the shroud, not as that occupying consciousness, forgetting our true natures for lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes, until something happens and we get a glimpse into the nature of what we are as consciousness, what we are as spirit, something of our eternal nature. And how many times ago that happened for you, we don't know exactly, but it is clearly multiple lifetimes, maybe hundreds of lifetimes for some of you. Because in the process of becoming ignited by that awakening moment, it's more like a seed being planted deeply in the soil of the fabric of our organizing being as it evolves through lifetimes after lifetimes, our psychic being. And yes, there's that principle of us that's impersonal and eternal in our awareness that is not affected by this evolution, but this can't manifest. It's only the person, the individual expression of spirit in our body, our beingness, that can manifest. And that's the opportunity of this existence. Because in the process of manifesting, consciousness can wake up to itself, first as the shroud, and then second as consciousness itself. And from that can come back to the body and transmute this incredible vehicle we take for granted and live and misuse and take, not even recognize is there most of the time. It can be transmuted into this powerful, effective tool, instrument, channel to impact the collective consciousness. This is the true purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. This is the purpose of all spiritual paths, even if they have different goals, different purposes. But it's ultimately going to come down to you getting it. It's going to come down with you individually being in the process of discovering this incredible potential that has been living you all your lives. But in this life, it has a greater chance than ever to come into existence as you, the person, as well as you as the supreme being living purposefully. Okay. Now, getting there is the problem. Getting there is a shitstorm. Getting there is a lot of false starts. Getting there are moments of exhilaration that prove to be not true. Getting there where you got it and then you lost it, right? So it's this process of digging through the trenches, thinking you're there and finding out, nope, not yet. Nope, not yet. Son of a bitch. It's never going to happen. You get discouraged. You're disappointed. You change teachers. You change lives. You change bodies. Still, same problem. What's the issue? What's the problem? Must be somebody else. Must be the teacher. Must be the wife. Must be the husband. Must be the job. Must be the circumstances. Must be the terrible times we're born in. Yeah, that doesn't do it either. You can't find a source outside yourself for your own problems. If you really begin to get it, the thing that's stable, the thing that becomes stable, isn't finding someone to blame or to assign the importance or the value or the one who's in charge of your life outside of yourself, but it comes right down to you. So, all psychology is about you kind of empowering yourself to actualize, the positive parts of you being as a human being. Even psychology knows that we can't continue to exist in this condition of ignorance and self-involvement and distortion and projections that prevent us from actually having any sense of the possibility we carry, except by building these constructs: my education, my money, my relationship, my spiritual awakening, and my understanding of that spiritual awakening, and my past teachers, and what I imagine is the future. And it won't hold. It won't hold because it's not truth yet. The truth is a core quality of what you are, what I am, what we all are, that can hear this, that can respond, that can recognize a possibility in that moment of hearing this. That you can feel within yourself something that says, yes, maybe I don't know jack shit. Maybe I am wrong, but not be defeated, but rather excited by the recognition of what is still hidden. See that transition from being a finder, which is still this thing of looking for something you imagine you don't have. Being a seeker, seeking something you imagine you don't have, versus being a finder, which is finding what you already have. So this path of being able to come to cause is a willingness to make the sacrifice of thinking you know, or imagining there isn't anything else, or the story of false equivalency. Why can't I be human? It's equal to being awakened. Why can't I be spiritual and be human? And actually all these structures that come on, that there's false equivalencies that are still based on attachment, still based on desire, still based on rajas or tamas, still based on the structures of habitual education and training, where we make real what our mind accumulates, making sense, creating theories and explanations of why life is, and then holding on to them desperately after time so that they don't crumble like all these things do. It's only when we can become binders, when we begin to discover that we're the thing, the quality that we have been seeking, that we can begin to intuit and explore territory that's not accessible to our educated minds. It's not accessible to our normal awareness, but is only accessible in its fullness through the opening up of the willingness of our entire system to begin to gather direct knowing, the ability to directly recognize truth and untruth as it arises. Now, for some, it's going to be outward. For some, it's easier to recognize untruth because of fear. Recognize untruth because of a projection of something of yourself that you haven't yet met. There's the boogeyman. There's the bad person. There's the one I can't trust. There's the one who's like that last relationship that betrayed me. This suspicion, this whole structure prevents us from, in its design, from seeing accurately, in truth, what is showing up in our life. What have we created? What have we unwittingly taken on? Obligated ourselves, bound ourselves. Where is it that we have given up our choice, our freedom to be active co-creators in our life for security, for comfort, for convenience, or to accomplish something that impassions and excites us and makes us enthused, where we can go out and keep creating this blossom of possibilities in our human life? This positive urge of the human being is actually has to have its time. The positive has to be expressed. We actually have to act on that positive possibility we carry as human beings. We have to live enough of our Dharma and even to begin to integrate our awakening. We have to discover a true positive within our own design versus not just the true negative. That's part of our design. We need to see the part of us that can actually actualize ourselves as a developing human being into the world of life and relationships and accomplishments and discipline and struggle and effort, so that we can become aware enough of the person that has shrouded the being that we are, enough that we have some say, that we've learned how to restrain the negative and to strengthen the positive in our own systems. We have to get enough self-control to be able to organize ourselves to get or have or manifest those positive qualities in ourselves. So the positive serves, even the human positive serves. It also gives us the strength to tolerate the negative. The more positive we become by living aligned with our individual Dharma, the more strength we have in meeting those parts of ourselves that are not aligned. And then as a human being, we prepare ourselves for becoming a spiritual being. So if we haven't done that, if we haven't actualized the positive in us, then we get caught in this little self-created swirl that does not allow us to progress as a human being. And therefore, when the awakening comes in that paradigm, all we want to do is get out of Dodge and not come back. So that is not going to take you to the fullness of the opportunity of your awakening if you're in the morass of an unlived life. You're in the morass of the incompleted, unmet and incomplete experiences, things you promised yourself that you didn't do, things that you thought others would do for you, and then when they didn't, your anger and resentment and vengeance and projections. The things that where we were not able to actualize the positive component of our personality. So coming to cause is also coming to cause to the part of ourselves that is, we have unwittingly or wittingly kept a victim, kept in its smallness, kept in its little shelter hidden from the storm of life. If we've lived our lives too sensitive, too unwilling to risk, to get out of the boundary, to whatever level of sensitivity we have, then we lose the ability to see what lies hidden. Okay. What lies hidden in us, that is what has kept us in a victim or powerless or fearful position. So coming to cause is this very, very multi-dimensional aspect that affects every part of our awakened self and our spiritual self. Because without that, you won't find the stability. You won't find the base, the keel that will hold the boat of the unfolding of this life as it seeks to manifest its highest possibility. But be clear, this isn't for you. This is for the world. It's not about you becoming better. That's secondary. That's a spin-off. It's rather that you live aligned with a purpose that's greater for yourself. Because there's nothing that purifies our system, nothing that accelerates the process faster than sacrifice, self-giving. Nothing true or lasting can come without sacrifice. We have to make the effort. We have to be willing to let go. We have to be willing to go through the struggle of unfolding in ways that we hadn't before in order to discover this power we have, this causal principle that we have that can create new realities without doing it, but by being it. Not like the ego struggling to get something or to hold on to something. It's something that arises spontaneously when you've come to that place of being in cause. And the characteristic of that is there throughout the Gita. The process of being able to develop that part of us means we have to be willing to sacrifice the convenient, comfortable, familiar shroud of what we know, of what we've lived, and step outside of those boundaries. And that's the nature of the sacrifice. No ordinary human being can do this. No ordinary awakened person can do this. And I know that for many of you, all you can do is your best effort in the time you have left this life to be able to come to this as far as you can in the course of this life. Now, this is why I'm here, and this is why all of what we do is here, to support you, to travel as far as possible during this super enhanced period for awakening, in order to become at least in part useful for the shift in the collective consciousness and for this new incarnation force to have a more full and integrated impact on the collective consciousness. There is a purpose. We're being called to battle. Battle is always a sacrifice. That principle here is you're willing to die for a cause greater than yourself. That is the ultimate sacrifice. So when we look at coming to cause, we have to also look at that in us, which separates us from that quality of being, that willingness. What are we still hanging on to? What are we still hoping for? What is it still that's unlived in us that we haven't met yet? So these are the kind of things that I would like to leave to all of you as we open up to the questions and answers of what might arise in this session together. So we'll give about a half an hour for those of you who would like to come forward with what showed up for you or what's there for you. And no, it's okay. You can be exactly where you are. Matter of fact, I want you to be exactly where you are. Please be exactly where you are. Don't try to do this for me or Satsang or to look good. Please just be yourself and just share what's there and be willing to venture. Use this as a stepping out moment for you.
Okay.
Okay, so first up is Bettina. Okay.
Hey,
Hi, Bettina.
hello, Bettina. Namaste.
Yeah, it's really funny because
Up, sound.
oh,
There we
There you
go.
are.
There you are.
no, okay, perfect.
All right. All right.
Yeah, it's really strange because I met you 2 years ago
Huh?
for the first time, and that time I was brave enough to step up and sit on the chair and talk to you.
Ah,
Yes.
good
And
for you. You
I,
leap.
you know, a lot of experiences happened after that, so it was really, really scary time for me that time because I didn't know what was happening. And since then, I never had the courage again to speak up. But tonight, when you were talking, I was really calm and I knew I needed to connect. I needed you for the next step. I feel there's something happening at the moment. I have a lot of physical experiences. In one of the meditations, I was at the threshold of death, like of letting go. And when I was talking about it in the group, I kind of blanked out and was in darkness. And so these kind of things. But this Sunday, I had an experience that was really, really tough. I think it's connected with knock because that's the day I finally signed up. I knew I was going to do it, but I just couldn't sign up for it. But that day I did. And in the evenings, I have a lot of pain in my ovaries when in a lot of the meditations, that much that I even get my period sometimes after that. So on Sunday evening, I got a lot of pain again, but I went to bed, and in the middle of the night, I woke up and I was in so much pain, and it moved, you know, ovaries, got everything. I went to the bathroom and I ended up on the floor in child position, and I had so much pain. It was so deep inside me. It felt like it's coming from the middle of the earth or something. I for some reason, I had the feeling that I'm not sick. It's related to knock or signing up or fear of what's coming. So, and when I managed to go back to bed and suddenly it was all gone. And I tried to connect to you and I had these spasms through my body that started in the lower chakras and just went up like this and out of my mouth. So I had about 15 of them or something, and then it was all over. Yeah, so I think I just needed this connection with you. I think there's something happening at the moment. I don't know what. And I signed up for knock, and somehow maybe it was a fear as well, what that will open up or something. So
That's exactly what it is. Your intuition is giving you right information. This is a Kundalini Shakti, just push through a blockage in your second chakra, probably somewhat tied to your first, but it also went up into the womb. It went up into that third, entering into the third chakra, and then it released and went all the way through. And that's why you have this calmness, because your channel, your subtle body channel, has just been cleared. And now what this calmness is giving you is a place to stand that has brought you here. I'm feeling the embodiment of that truth in you as we sit here. And it's very stable and serene. So it is a new platform, a new place to be from what you've been used to, because there's been a lot of turbulence in the last 3 years. That's going to empower you for this next shift. So it's a heralding of what's coming for you. So the secret for this is the silence and stillness. That will strengthen this ballast, this anchor. The silence, stillness does not have attachment, does not have fear, does not have projection, doesn't have story. It isn't locked into you as a person and your individuality, or you as a spiritual being and your desire and your ambition or your aspiration and longing. It's simple in the immediacy of its anchored presence in your body. This is a good basis. because that's a piece of the Supreme within you. And that will continue to allow you to see the next layer, to meet the next level of what may be this next stage. I recognize that 3 years is usually the time period that people have to be with me before they really begin to go into the work that will take them to their universal nature. So good for you. I'm glad to be there at every one of those transition moments. May I be with you for your future transition moments to sanction and acknowledge the growing wisdom and truth you're becoming as a woman and as a being coming into existence. So there's a fullness of the divine mother principle that I see as possible in you, that has authority, that has a masculine quality that will allow you to be able to manifest as an integrated being. So go for it, girl.
Thanks so much.
Namaste.
Both of you.
Okay, next up is Caroline and Rory.
Hey, look at those. 2 peas in a pod. Lovely to see you as a reflection of what you see. So it's a delight. Wow, and how nicely choreographed.
Caroline, you are glowing.
Yeah, you're both.
on
How
the
are you?
camera. Yeah, look at you. You're great. I am so sad not to see you guys this year.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, but no chaos.
It's
so
okay.
that part's good.
We're there as you.
All right, you have to send me the names of your chairs, please, because we have to get new chairs for the studio.
Will do.
Thank you, ma'am.
Furniture.
I know, I'm sorry, but I had to bring that up. Okay, Rory.
It's
Hers is
important.
love
It's
and mine is
important.
truth.
It sounds like a plan.
All
She's
right,
whispering
let's
to,
Oh,
so she whispered to me as I unmuted, I don't want to say anything.
You don't have to say anything.
or you can
No,
talk
I
about the
know.
part that doesn't want to say anything.
I don't have to do what he tells me.
Ah.
That's how we use each other.
Here, here.
Yeah.
You can speak.
I'd just like to speak about when I can hold the space with the Divine Mother. She speaks so clearly. You know, and I think my practice is the listening, but also the allowing.
Very good. Yes. Stepping back from the male principle and integrating the female principle within your own system. Yeah, that's exactly what we all have to do. Come to balance with those within ourselves.
Like, it's so tricky because in the arena that I'm so comfortable in, it's the everything's fine, you know, and it's so easy for me to fill those gaps, you know, but then I miss the wisdom. And so there's the play, because we have the universal and we have our divine purpose, but we also have the breakfast. We have the,
and the kids and the furniture.
yeah, and the everyday life. So it's such a play, and we can hold it. We're holding it, and it's manifesting, and that's so interesting. But it's a storm, and I'm glad that our time with you reinforced the vessel so firmly that it allows for us to be in this turbulence, like global, but also family. You know, because that's the gift of our time with you, was it really did make it real. We came to cause. We're still coming to cause. I come to cause every day. Not as good as Caroline, I have to admit. Caroline
Well, she's
calls
clear
us.
of the cause, right? You're the cause.
She's so much better at calling herself out. I can call myself out when I have an audience.
Yeah, good.
But in the face of the mother, I
Yeah,
pay.
you're still her child. Yeah, you're just a little kitten, a teddy bear. Oh, mama, mama, please stroke me. Just hold me, can you cuddle me? Let me be loved.
Yeah, there's something. It's more that the fierceness of her. I'm afraid.
Ah, that other side of the mother. All right, good.
Yeah.
Yes,
So it's
let the surgery happen then.
so we're enjoying the play.
You know, Caroline, I would love to hear your point of view on this.
I really don't know what to say. My heart is racing. I want to say thank you to you, Shree.
Mhm.
That's me. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
The only thing that's coming to me is that I know who I am. There's a part of me that doesn't know how that's going to show up, what I need to do next. I'm nearly frightened to ask you what I need to do next.
Just stay vulnerable.
Yeah.
Speak from your vulnerability. That's all you need to do. Because that vulnerability is truth manifest. And it's very much in your body. Your whole body is there with you right now. So your embodiment is both the problem and the opportunity to stay in the vulnerability, to discover that hidden strength, that hidden truth you've carried all along, that Roy bows to. And that's for you to discover, not for Roy to discover. That's his own project. But the power, the authority, the grounded truth you carry in your body that has all along been a revolt to the world and to the error, to the untruth, trying to carve out something positive for herself amidst the shit, amidst the unworkability. So the human in you is still struggling to trust life, because we don't have an issue with trust when we find that we're cause, because then we're in faith. And then being vulnerable is simply an expression of our faith, not safety. So keep doing, keep speaking when you don't want to, keep sharing. I don't know what to say. And that's your doorway, your acknowledgement, as I don't know how to be in this moment. I don't know how to be in full truth with myself, because you don't have to worry about it. The truth in you is going to take over, and just did. So draw on a relationship as a means of continuing to empower this quality in you, this courage, this willingness. And recognize you are an expression of the World Mother, seeking to manifest herself in a woman's body who carries the diminishment and the victimhood and the boundary of the feminine principle, both as your own and as a shared experience with other women, with the World Mother. So you're here for a beautiful, grand, important purpose. And this guy is going to help give you a platform to manifest. It's clear. So.
No. Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you both.
Yeah.
Great to see you both.
We love you too,
We love you too very much.
and we miss you.
I
Yeah.
miss you too.
Yeah.
Next year.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is Sonia.
Sonia, welcome.
Welcome, Sonia.
Hi. Nice to-
Namaste.
Bye.
Well, I took courage to raise my hand today.
Good girl.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a bit scary. But what I was wanting to say, I was not wanting to raise my hand, by the way, but I just did.
There was a
Um,
part that didn't want to raise her hand. Yes.
exactly, yeah.
Not done that one.
What I was wanting to bring up is that I just feel so deeply that I have to surrender even deeper. That's a very intuitive feeling that I have. Just surrender, yeah, to something, yeah, more deep.
Two things that need to go on with this, Sonia, is a letting go
Mhm.
and a surrender. So the letting go is as important as the surrender. So what is that knows she needs to surrender is also the part that has not yet learned what there is to be let go of.
Mhm.
So this is attachment, this is fear, this is a strategy of the human ego as it comes into existence that we carry the contraction, the stress of. So it's there in your body. Your body is telling you what it is that needs to be let go of, which feels like surrendering to, but it's actually just opening up the space for actually surrendering to.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, last night I was in bed and I got a very sudden body activity in my body, and I just felt this huge space in my forehead, like big spaciousness, and felt like the third eye, like light. It's just so much bigger than everything, you know. It's like you feel this kind of pull inside you, like somehow you want to go up.
Yes, to
And
that.
say
Yeah.
you want to go up, and that's what it doesn't push me, but it's kind of like it's like a desire,
It's an aspiration.
aspiration.
It's the cry of your soul to return to where you came from. It actually is the part of you that wants to return to the quality of your consciousness before you embodied. And you just,
Yeah.
the doorway opened a little bit so you could access how different that is than the state of consciousness you have to live in.
Mhm.
And it wants out, right? I mean, it just wants out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So,
a longing, deep longing
deep
to
longing.
surrender. Yeah. Mhm.
Yes, to come back home, because for you, that's home. That's actually, you've already attained that, but you
Yeah.
haven't been able to access that fully this life. So that's just why you're definitely strong awareness, awakening with a higher heart component to it. But it's the lower chakras that you're here to meet and to come to cause with.
In
this.
daily life.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's good to have the refuge. It's good to find a place, a resource like that, to be able to know you've got that there, because that strengthens your ability to be here. So use it as a resource, but not as an escape route,
Right.
not as a back door. That resource, when you bring it back into your body, in the embodiment, it becomes rich and full and deep as it reveals the darkness and the complexities that you carry from your mother, from your ancestry, from the piece of the collective burden you've brought with you. This is the real work. Yep.
Yeah.
So you got it. So the instructions are clear. I say them again and again. The secret to that.
We will work. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
All right. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Now, I want to just say something. I have a role to play for all of you in terms of the quality, the principle that I carry and that I hold and represent to strengthen that less developed, less mature part of your being that needs a resource outside of itself until it can develop enough to be its own resource. So I play that role. And how that role happens is when you think of me, or you align with me, or you see a picture of me, you build a channel to the principle that I am, and that empowers you to make it real for you, to make it yours ultimately, even though interimly it seems like it's this person, this Shree. But the only reason this is happening for you is because it's already there in you. So all I am doing, the role I play and the role you will likely play and probably have already played, is you empower the people who come to you to access that possibility within themselves. And that's what we're here for, and we're here to replicate it. So what do they call it? Pass forward. What's the word when you
Pass it forward, yeah.
pass forward? So the job here
Pay
is
it forward.
pay it forward, is to give space for the people in your lives to come to the truth that they are as well, including those that may come to you as a spiritual being. All right, real good. Thank you, Sonia. Good to see you. Yeah. All right,
Next up is Molly.
Molly, welcome.
Hi, Shree.
Hi, Molly.
Hey, namaste.
Namaste. Hey, you guys.
Hi.
So this is my first satsang, and I know you saw the interview that I had with Adya Shakti.
Yeah.
And I have to say that, so for people that don't know, I had my first panic attack 3 weeks ago. And then after that, I had a 7-hour panic attack, and they've subsided, but there's so many visions of starscapes and like high altitudes that I can't really handle it. And so this actually being here with this satsang has been extremely triggering, because it's really hard for me to hear about spirituality right now. Like, I just want to put furniture together and like pull weeds and like do everything that's like 3D. And I have like this aversion now to like spirituality, even though I've been searching for it for 20 years.
Yeah, that's the problem with finding it. You suddenly say, God, forget it. I don't have, give me my garden.
It's not what I asked for. No, this is not the picture. You're not
Yeah.
the first one, Molly.
I have to carry weights around now because I feel so like transcendent. So I don't even, this is really hard for me to be here. Like, any like conversation about spirituality is just like, I'm like, so I'm just wondering what you have to say to me.
No, that's great. Your instincts are right on. You're clearly a developing. You have already mucked up yourself in the subtle worlds by being transcendent. You came this life to be embodied.
Yeah.
You came to be grounded. You came to build things. You came to be practical. You came to be able to be a human being. Yes, that is your purpose.
Thank you.
By becoming a human being, the spiritual being you are will become more integrated. My work is always about becoming initially the full possibility we are as human beings, as much as we can, or as much may be necessary. But in your case, it's like your full-time job.
Yeah.
The more you can bring this into your body, more you can bring this into the groundedness of your everyday life. Pretend it doesn't exist, because it's raging, waiting for you to pay attention to it. But get what it is. It's an imbalance. Too much spirit, not enough matter.
Mhm.
Matter has to grow to catch up so that it can hold the spirit rather than be left behind by spirit. Because as soon as you leave behind the body, you open yourself to influences and forces that makes it very much more difficult to integrate your awakening. So you're right, be grounded. The other thing that can help you, Molly, is our connection, because I'm a very grounded person, right? My teacher called me a clerk, but I'm really a nuts and bolts guy. I like the physicality, very earthy. So by being connected to me, your body embodiment will be strengthened in the ability to stay stable in the field of your own awareness, because that's what's happening. When you open up to spirit, your awareness expands and you start picking up influences and from the collective consciousness, from other people, your roommates, whatever. The more you're embodied, the more you're protected.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you've gotten psychic training, but clearly one of the things you need to do is be in charge of your aura, the field of your awareness, and
Yeah.
to bring it in close to your body.
Mm.
So the idea of keeping your aura close is also going to help you stay embodied.
Mm.
Okay, so then you will have less to fear because your anchor is your body. The thing that the keel that can allow you to stay on course for the purpose of your life is your body.
Mhm.
Learning to live in your body, to know your body, to experience and understand through your body rather than through just your awareness or your heart is going to be how you can develop as an integrated being this life. Now,
What
when
city are you in?
what's that?
What city are you in?
We're in
Outside Reno, Nevada, where are you?
Oh, good. That's close. I'm in Portland.
okay, yeah.
Well, Tanya's in Portland.
Yeah, we have people in Portland.
We have a really good, can I ask how old you are?
38.
You're a little bit older than Tonya, but there is somebody I can put you in touch with in Portland.
Yeah.
My really good friend is Laura Anderson. She's not here today, but she's part of your guys.
Okay.
Did Laura lose her house? Is she the one who lost her? There is a Laura. Oh, no, it's a Nancy. Okay.
Yeah.
I know who Laura is. Okay.
Yeah.
And then there is somebody in Portland. If it's okay, I'll just give Tonya your
Yeah.
contact info.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. And then we have Polly.
And Polly, who's
And
waving
John.
at you.
Yeah, they're
So
waving.
there
They're
is
in
a
Portland.
little conclave.
Yeah.
A little enclave there in Portland.
I have
But,
a lot
the
of work here, and I'm getting a lot of body work and
Yes.
stuff, but I'm always happy to have, more friends that are in this work,
Well, and Tonya's very practical. She just got out of the Peace Corps and she's kind of like trying to see what's next for her. It's an interesting process. So, but she's been with us for about 5 years.
Nice.
So she's very grounded.
So just give yourself more time, Molly, to get familiar with my teachings.
Mhm.
Understand the Bhagavad Gita, the mother book, listen to the recordings, immerse yourself in the kind of the languaging and the frame of what we're doing so that if you do come to visit us, you'll be able to take advantage of the opportunity because it is inevitably going to be a testing when you come here. So you want to prepare yourself for the testing.
I'm currently not able to leave my house without extreme levels of anxiety.
Yeah, I got it.
I've got a lot of
So
work.
this quality in you is knowing something is coming. The panicking is the part of your terrorized psychic being that got overtaken by too much too young.
Yeah.
And therefore the grounding, you can ground this panic by creating a grounding cord to the center of the earth, to your first chakra, because that's where it's arising from.
Mhm.
It's arising from fear of losing your body. And therefore a grounding cord is a hollow tube that you imagine going from your perineum all the way to the center of the earth. Be aware of your breath, set up the grounding cord, and then the first thing to do is take the panic energy and direct it down your body, all the way down to the grounding cord, all the way down to the center of the earth. Because the panic actually is an awakening, but the system doesn't know how to be with it.
Mhm.
So if you can ground it through your body into the earth that you're linked to the mother, the world mother, it will allow you to reduce the panic. And then the other thing is you can draw up earth energy from the bottom of your feet, drawing up from your feet up your legs, and let it come in for a period of time to stabilize the earthiness that you have in your body. And then withdraw it because you don't want too much earthiness. And this will convert the energy of panic into the current that's trying to express itself
Mhm.
as something safe and good and okay. So you can listen to this after you get the recording, you can listen to the instructions. And if you just do this a number of times each day, or just as a prepare to like a a vaccination that will help reduce the big panics when they come. Then you'll find a strength to be able to walk out the door or to do those things that would otherwise keep you in your shelter.
Thank you.
All right, Molly.
Thank you, Molly. Good
Thank
to
you.
meet you.
Yes.
Good to meet you guys.
Okay, you are.
Okay. Oh.
Good.
Next.
This will be the last one.
Okay. Next up is Monique.
Okay.
Monique.
Hi.
Good to see you. Namaste.
Uh, I'm nervous.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been feeling very resistant to using my voice lately, so I thought I'd come forward.
Oh,
um, yeah, it's just there's a lot happening. The last time I spoke, I wasn't doing very well, and it's going better at least. But it's not very stable. So sometimes I don't really know if there's something I can do to make it more stable. But it's really, after the last time I spoke, I had this energy in my chest, like exploding. And after that, I was like high for 2 weeks. I was just feeling really great. But then it collapsed again. And I keep getting these waves of like a few days where I'm just completely exhausted and drained from energy, and yeah, and it goes away, but it keeps coming back. So I don't
Okay,
really know.
I got it, Monique. I know what it is. I want you to become aware of your belly right now, your third chakra. That's why
Okay.
we're sitting here. Okay? Pay attention to it. Okay, now I want you to become aware of your second chakra, just behind the genitals. Your first chakra, your seat, sitting on the chair, your feet, sitting on the ground. And just be there for a bit, hold it for a bit. Let yourself get anchored in that area of your body, those areas of your body. Okay, so what's going on is you have to start to consciously ground yourself into those areas of your body. I can feel your diaphragm getting activated, but I can also feel a very intense bliss rising up from your heart into your throat. So there's something that's trying to come up out, to be spoken or to be released. We'll see what this is. All right, so this is your work, Monique. You are a very developed being from a high, subtle world. You came with a mission for the world, but your embodiment is not strong enough for the intensity of the forces that are wanting to work through you. So you have to become more familiar with your body, more intimate with the physicality of your embodiment, your sexuality, your physical sensation. You'll have to feel, you got to get the feeling that you've probably been repulsed by of being in a body, and that repulsion is not helping you. The need to surrender the repulsion. And one of the things that helps you surrender the repulsion is being in the pleasure of being in a body. So the sexual energy can be an avenue of grounding you. Relaxation, like in a hot tub or being massaged, can ground you. It can be anything where the body is leading in the experiential and the awareness is put on the shelf for a while. So you'll find that when you start doing this, a relaxation will start coming, because in your case, like Molly, your awareness is very much more developed than your embodiment. So the body, you have to take some of that awareness and empower the body, and the body will start catching up. And that means, what in your case, not the fourth chakra, not the upper chakras, although the fifth is related to the unmet parts in the lower chakras. And those are the parts that need to know it's okay to be in a body, that it's okay to be embodied. and to be able to enjoy what it means to be a woman in a body. That's probably counter to your intuition of what you should be doing. But it is the labor of how you will make you'll create a base by which you'll be able to manifest your purpose. So you empower your body by a being in touch with the body, and you'll start feeling what in you doesn't want to be in the body. If there's trauma there, if there's issues there that you have not yet awakened to or been able to be in relationship with, that will be part of the healing, to bring the body up and make it more open and resilient and capable of holding the awareness you already are. Then you'll see for yourself how useful you are. You're already in the right position, but you're making the doingness and the activity is still in your awareness, and you're leaving behind these more simple childlike qualities of yourself. All right, Monique. So it's the next level of your relationship with me. It's learning to deepen into your embodiment in order to hold the spiritual capacity you have in a way where that becomes a lived part of your life. So you have some work ahead of you. Be willing.
Yeah, I am.
I invite you to use our mentors to assist you with this, to go online.
They're up online now.
They're up online, and tie into our mentors to support you in this process.
It's under coaching on the website.
Okay. And then that will help strengthen what needs to happen, and you'll give you a place, a resource to tap into as you go forward. Okay. I wish,
We'll be in touch.
yeah, I
Yes,
wish only that you fulfill your mission.
thank you.
Thank you,
Namaste.
Monique. Okay, you're done. Okay, so
right.
this is, we're going to wrap up now. That just a reminder that tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, we will be doing Shree and Ajay Shakti. We'll be doing questions and answers with, and so if you have a question you want to post under the app, under the Mighty Network app, you'll find it in topics, questions for Shree and Satyamayi. So hope to see you all tomorrow.
Okay, we're just going to have a few minutes of sitting silent and still together. So find the finder in your body. Find where it lives. And then sit there, still and silent, simple, for 2 minutes. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat Shree. All glory to Supreme. May truth manifest. Namaste. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again soon, I hope.